WWE has long been plagued by a significant Seth Rollins problem, an issue that extends far beyond just creative decisions or match outcomes. At its core, the company's inability to fully utilize Rollins reflects a deeper systemic failure to recognize and nurture organic star power, and it has resulted in missed opportunities, disillusioned fans, and repeated instances of inconsistent booking. Seth Rollins is not merely a wrestler who puts on great matches. He represents the rare blend of athleticism, charisma, and adaptability that any wrestling promotion should treasure. Yet WWE has continuously mishandled his career, using him as a workhorse, while neglecting to give him the sustained focus he has long earned. When Seth Rollins first burst onto the WWE main roster as part of The Shield, it was evident that he possessed a unique combination of technical wrestling mastery and high-flying athleticism. He was instrumental in the Shield's success, often delivering standout performances that helped elevate the group as a whole. However, even in those early days, it was clear that WWE's long-term investment lay elsewhere. Roman Reigns, despite being green in comparison to Rollins, was positioned as the future face of the company. While Rollins was indeed given meaningful storylines, it always felt as though he was secondary to WWE's grander plans for other talents. WWE's reliance on Roman Reigns as the centerpiece of the Shield foreshadowed their long-standing hesitation to place Rollins in that same light. Despite this, Rollins managed to shine through sheer ability and charisma. His betrayal of the Shield was masterfully executed, and it marked the beginning of his singles run. His Money in the Bank win and subsequent cash-in at WrestleMania 31 are still regarded as one of the greatest moments in modern WWE history. Yet even after achieving what should have been a definitive star-making moment, WWE's booking of Rollins remained troublingly inconsistent. His WWE World Heavyweight Championship reign was marred by underwhelming feuds and repetitive interference finishes, which ultimately made his reign feel less impactful than it should have been. While WWE placed the title on Rollins, they seemed reluctant to let him fully carry the company as its face, frequently leaning on legends or part-time wrestlers to bolster ratings and pay-per-view buys. Rollins' injury in 2015 temporarily derailed his momentum, but his return was met with strong fan support. However, WWE's handling of his comeback was again perplexing. Instead of embracing the organic cheers and turning him into a fan favorite, the company awkwardly slotted him back into a heel role, resulting in a disconnect between Rollins and the audience. WWE's refusal to read the room and capitalize on Rollins' popularity is emblematic of their larger problem with him. Time and again, WWE has shown an unwillingness to embrace Rollins' natural trajectory, instead forcing him into roles that don't resonate with the audience. As the years progressed, Rollins continued to deliver stellar performances in the ring, often stealing the show at pay-per-views and weekly television events. His consistency, however, became a double-edged sword. WWE began to view him as a reliable plug-and-play performer, someone they could insert into any match or storyline without worrying about long-term consequences. This led to Rollins being overexposed and, in some cases, unfairly burdened with storylines that had no logical direction. Rather than building compelling narratives around Rollins, WWE frequently used him to salvage lackluster programs or elevate others who they viewed as bigger stars. This approach diminished Rollins' credibility and led to stretches where he felt directionless, despite being one of the most talented individuals on the roster. A glaring example of WWE's mishandling of Rollins came during his Universal Championship reign in 2019. Heading into WrestleMania 35, Rollins was positioned as a conquering hero set to dethrone Brock Lesnar. While he succeeded in defeating Lesnar, WWE's creative team fumbled the follow-up. His reign was plagued by awkward promos and poorly received feuds, most notably his disastrous program with The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. The infamous Hell in a Cell match between Rollins and Wyatt, which ended in a nonsensical disqualification inside a match designed to be no disqualification, exposed WWE's lack of foresight and their willingness to sacrifice Rollins' credibility to protect other characters. Rollins was vilified by fans, not because of his actions, but because of WWE's horrendous booking decisions. Instead of adjusting course, WWE doubled down, portraying Rollins as a whining, entitled champion, effectively alienating a large portion of his fan base. What makes the Seth Rollins problem particularly glaring is that WWE often expects him to shoulder the burden of carrying the brand, while simultaneously undermining him in crucial moments. He has been tasked with representing Raw during challenging periods, expected to deliver great matches and promos, yet denied meaningful victories or long-term momentum. His willingness to adapt and reinvent himself has been commendable, but WWE rarely capitalizes on these character shifts effectively. His Monday Night Messiah persona, for instance, showcased a darker, more delusional side of Rollins, allowing him to cut compelling promos and engage in fresh rivalries. However, WWE's inconsistent writing and lack of long-term planning led to the character losing steam prematurely, relegating Rollins back to a supporting role. Moreover, WWE's tendency to place Rollins in feuds designed primarily to elevate others further illustrates their disregard for his status. In recent years, he's been tasked with putting over rising stars like Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. While it's natural for veterans to help establish new talent, Rollins has been asked to take high-profile losses repeatedly without receiving meaningful wins to balance his stature. His losses to Cody Rhodes in 3 consecutive matches, including a WrestleMania bout, sent a clear message that WWE prioritized Rhodes' narrative over Rollins' credibility. Despite delivering excellent matches, Rollins was once again positioned as the perennial stepping stone rather than a true main event centerpiece. Another critical aspect of WWE's problem with Seth Rollins lies in their perception of what constitutes a top guy. WWE has traditionally favored larger-than-life personas and physical specimens who fit a specific mold of the ideal superstar. While Rollins has a great physique and undeniable charisma, he doesn't fit the exact mold of someone like Roman Reigns or John Cena. WWE's fixation on projecting an image of dominance has consistently placed Rollins in a secondary role, often seeing him as the dependable workhorse rather than the transcendent megastar. This perception has undoubtedly influenced the way he has been booked throughout his career. Despite the obvious roadblocks, Rollins continues to garner overwhelming support from the WWE audience. His elaborate entrances, distinctive attire, and passionate promos have made him a fan favorite across demographics. His chant-inducing theme song and over-the-top persona have helped cement his status as one of the most popular acts in the company. Yet WWE, in typical fashion, has been slow to reward his loyalty and success with sustained main event storylines that reflect his value. Instead, he has often been relegated to the role of entertaining opener or mid-card attraction, despite having all the tools to headline major events. Even when WWE has awarded him championships, they have often treated these reigns as temporary placeholders rather than as a sign of full faith in his ability to carry the company. His run as World Heavyweight Champion in recent years is another example. While the belt was created in part to address the imbalance caused by Roman Reigns holding both major titles, Rollins' reign never felt as prestigious as it should have. WWE's booking made it clear that the title was secondary, and Rollins himself frequently found his feuds overshadowed by other stories on the show. This dynamic further reflects WWE's ongoing reluctance to give Rollins the definitive push he has long deserved. Another issue is WWE's inability to craft compelling narratives for Rollins that extend beyond just great matches. While he excels at in-ring competition, he also has the mic skills and charisma to lead engaging storylines. However, WWE's creative team has often struggled to write coherent, long-term programs for him, opting instead for short-term rivalries that lack depth or consequence. The absence of consistent storytelling has prevented Rollins from ascending to a level where he can be seen as the face of the company, despite his immense talent and popularity. Rollins' willingness to reinvent himself repeatedly has also become a crutch for WWE's creative laziness. Each time his character begins to lose steam due to poor booking or overexposure, Rollins has to develop a new persona to remain relevant. From the Architect to the Kingslayer, the Beastslayer, the Monday Night Messiah, and the Visionary, Rollins has undergone numerous transformations. While these reinventions demonstrate his versatility, they also highlight WWE's inability to craft long-term, sustainable stories around him without relying on frequent character resets. Furthermore, WWE's treatment of Rollins behind the scenes has often been indicative of their lukewarm view of him as a top star. He is rarely featured as the face of promotional campaigns or crossover media appearances. Despite being a recognizable and marketable figure, WWE has historically reserved those opportunities for talents they view as their primary flag bearers, such as Roman Reigns, John Cena, or more recently, Cody Rhodes. This deliberate sidelining sends a clear message about where Rollins stands in the company's hierarchy, regardless of his consistent in-ring excellence. Rollins' social media presence and candid interviews have also played a role in WWE's complicated relationship with him. He has at times defended the company passionately, particularly during periods of criticism, but he has also been unafraid to speak openly about frustrations or creative challenges. WWE is notoriously sensitive to talent speaking publicly about internal issues, and Rollins' willingness to pull back the curtain, even slightly, may have contributed to their reluctance to fully embrace him as their top star. Despite all of these challenges, Rollins remains one of the most respected and beloved performers in WWE today. His resilience in the face of repeated creative setbacks is remarkable, and his ability to connect with fans has only grown stronger over time. However, WWE's refusal to fully commit to him as the face of the company represents a significant problem, not just for Rollins, but for the promotion as a whole. By continuously underutilizing one of their most talented performers, WWE risks alienating a significant portion of its fan base and undermining the credibility of its own championships. Ultimately, the Seth Rollins problem is symptomatic of a larger issue within WWE, an obsession with controlling every aspect of a wrestler's rise, rather than allowing organic momentum to flourish. Rollins' career trajectory has repeatedly shown that he can connect with fans on his own terms, yet WWE continues to resist, fully embracing him as the company's centerpiece. This resistance has resulted in a career marked by missed opportunities, inconsistent booking, and a lingering sense of unfulfilled potential. The long-term implications of WWE's mishandling of Rollins could be significant.